So how do you start making money by the end of the week? Is it even possible? In today's video, I'm going to share with you, step by step, how you can earn $1,000 paychecks from the comfort of your home with just a laptop and a steady internet connection. And while I know it can sound too good to be true for some people, the things I'm going to share with you in this video are exactly what allowed me to go from struggling financially over 5 years ago, growing up in the lower middle class, to making upwards of $1,000 per day with my own profitable consulting business in my early 20s. So the first step we need to focus on in order to actually make this possible is to start by understanding how money works, because plenty of people, they don't understand how money works, yet they want to attract more of it. But to give you an example of what this looks like in practice, plenty of people think saving money is a good idea, but the thing is, long term, the money that you save up in your bank account, it loses value because of inflation and many other factors. So your buying power decreases every year, and with the same amount of money, you can buy less and less and less things. $1,000 today is worth a lot less than $1,000 a century ago. And that's why wealthy people don't focus on saving money, but instead they invest money. Because one of the very first lessons I learned as a kid, studying wealthy and successful people, reading their books, watching videos and podcasts, is that very successful people do not work for money. Instead, they make money work for them. And they typically do this through different investments. But the problem is, when you're a beginner, you're not even making $10,000 per month, you should not invest your money into traditional investments. Sure, if you want to invest a bit of money every month in the stock market to build a habit of doing so, I'm not gonna stop you. It's a good financial habit. However, you have to be fully aware of the fact that it will not change the quality of your life unless you can invest a significant amount of money in the stock market. And to be able to see a decent return on your investment, it will take you decades. Now, I don't know what you think personally, but me growing up in the lower middle class, I wanted to become wealthy in my 20s. I didn't want to have to wait until my 40s, 50s, or 60s, hell, maybe even my 70s, to finally be able to enjoy my life. But growing up, most of the adults around me, they were just fine with the status quo. And in reality, they weren't even fine with it because they spent all of their time complaining about their jobs. They were underpaid, undervalued, and so it's fair to complain about it. But at the same time, complaining will not change your financial situation. So the reason I'm telling you this is because if you want to obtain a higher quality of life than 99% of people, you cannot expect to act like most people and somehow end up with a completely different outcome, a much better financial situation in this case. So unless you can consistently invest thousands of dollars per month in passive sources of investments like the stock market, honestly, do not worry about investing. First, find a way to make more money, build a business, scale to $10,000 per month to $20,000 per month, and then you'll be able to invest more money to secure a great financial future and make passive income, while at the same time living an incredible life because you make a lot of money. I mean, I'll tell you this, the life I'm able to live right now, the experiences I'm able to have, the trips I'm able to go on, I'm building beautiful memories in my early 20s that I couldn't have built if instead I had followed the traditional path, which was to get massively in debt, to study in a good university, in hopes that maybe one day I'd get a $50,000 a year job. You know, with small increases in pay every 3 years or something, but never having the potential to build exponential wealth. You can only do that through a business. And so what you really need to understand about money is that every sale, every transaction is simply a value exchange. And the higher the perceived value of what you sell as a business, the higher the price tag that comes with it. And the reason I say perceived value and not just value is because in anything in this world, whether it be a service or even a material object, it only has the value that we assign to it. Because there's no law in the universe, to give you an example, that says a Ferrari has to cost that much. There simply isn't. It's us human beings collectively who determine what has value and what doesn't. And so what this means for you is that if you want to make a lot of money, you need to bring a lot of value to a lot of people. Now, typically there's two ways that you can do that. You can actually bring a lot of value to a very small amount of people and then charge very high ticket prices like Ferrari, or you can target most people, charge less per customer, and help more people. That's typically what brands like Toyota do. They appeal to a much broader market because most people will never be able to afford a car like a Ferrari. But both of these types of businesses, either way, they make billions of dollars. But for you, what this means is that since every transaction is a value exchange, you will not get paid unless you can solve a painful problem for people, because that is what will make you rich. You have to understand that every day, people buy solutions to problems. You buy a gym membership because you want to fix the problem of not looking the way that you want to look, of not feeling great, of not having enough energy, of not being able to walk on the beach in the summer with your shirt off and feel confident. Anytime you purchase something, you buy a solution to a problem. Now, the bigger the problem is, the more painful it is, and so the more money will be associated with the solution that you can use to solve that problem. So to give you an example, if you go to McDonald's, you're hungry, you want to solve a painful problem, and you want something tasty to it, something sweet, sugary, and salty. So you will pay a certain amount of money to get a McDonald's menu. Now let's say say on the other hand, you needed a life-saving surgery. Well, the price of the surgery would be much more expensive than the price of the burger at McDonald's, for a simple reason. The problem it solves is much more painful, and it requires a lot more skill, a lot more expertise, so it is a lot more expensive. But either way, you're always solving problems. But the reason why most people don't make as much money as they would like to make is because they're not solving problems for other people. And typically when you have a job, you do bring value to society, absolutely, but the problem is you are paid per hour of your time and not directly for the value that you provide. And if you want to break past the income ceiling that you find yourself facing right now in your job or career, you need to bring value to people, because that will allow you to stop selling your time for money, because there's only so much time that you have in a lifetime, and you cannot spend all day every day 365 days a year working yourself to the bone. And even if you could, what kind of life would it be? The whole reason I started an online business when I was younger, it was because I wanted to be able to be free financially, geographically, but also like in terms of my schedule. I know I could have become a banker, a lawyer, a doctor. I know I could have probably, with enough hard work, joined a big company and worked my way up the C-suite. But the thing is, it wouldn't have allowed me to reach my goals because I wanted to be in control of my time in my youth and to have no income ceiling. And you can only do that with a business, and more precisely, an online business. Because if you had to open up a brick and mortar business, first, you would need hundreds of thousands of dollars to even open up the business. But that's not all. The amount of responsibility on your shoulder as a brick and mortar business owner is insane. And you have so many costs associated with running the business. But when you have a business like selling services or coaching like I do, profit margins are extremely high because you charge high ticket prices. We have methods that I teach to my customers. That way, they can get customers without having to spend money on paid ads. And that contributes to extremely high profit margins, up to 98%. But most people fuck this up, to be honest with you, because they have no idea how to go about it. So to help you, I've recorded a free video in which I'm going to explain how I make upwards of $1,000 per day with my own consulting business, and most of it is profit, by the way. And I'm also going to reveal the only 3 activities you need to focus on doing if you're serious about making money remotely. I will leave the link in the description below, or you can also directly apply to book a call with either me or my team, and we'll see if we can actually help you to start your business. But to give you a few examples of what you could sell, there's typically 3 main types of offers. The first is to sell a service that you know how to deliver yourself. Some people, they come to me to give you an example. They're great at video editing, they're great at web design, they're great at translating languages, and so they could do that and provide it as a service to business owners. If you could help a business to get more leads, if you could help them to boost their revenue by 10%, they'd be willing to pay you a certain fee every month. And typically, because we charge high ticket prices, we charge anywhere from $1,000 up to $5,000. And I know some offers, in full transparency, they sell for $36,000 per year. So really there's no limit. It just depends on what you sell and who you sell it to. The other type of offer you can sell is still a service, but some people, they come to me, they've got no skills, no experience, but they still want to start a business. They're hungry for more. What you can do is provide any service, even if you don't know how to deliver that service yourself. And the way you do that is by leveraging remote contractors. So your job would be to find a customer, a contractor, and you connect the two. Now there's never any communication between the two because you are the middleman, but you essentially connect buyers and consumers, just like Airbnb is doing, just like Booking.com is doing, just like Uber and Amazon are doing. So these trillion-dollar companies, they're utilizing the same business model. So that's to show you how much potential it's got. But again, there's many steps to it, and so most people, because they try to do everything on their own, they just mess everything up. And finally, the third type of offer that you can have is a coaching offer, meaning you teach people how to do something that you know how to do yourself. So to give you an example, if you wanted to sell a fitness coaching offer, you obviously cannot lose the weight for somebody. You cannot build the muscle for somebody else. They have to do it themselves. But your job as a coach is to teach them how it's done. And that's personally my favorite because it's extremely scalable and you can help lots of people. But back in 2022, I originally got started by selling done-for-you lead generation services as well as consulting to agency owners, coaches and consultants to help them to book more sales calls with their ideal customers to help them to grow their business. Again, if you want to find out more information about it, I invite you to check out the free resources in the description below. Now, as a beginner, I really want to give you a fundamental piece of advice. Please stay the hell away from physical product-based businesses like dropshipping or even Amazon FBA. The reason for this is simple. These business models have extremely small profit margins and costs are very high. So if you wanted to get a shot at making this business successful, you would at the very least need to come up with $5,000 to $10,000 just to test your ads. So what this means in plain and simple English is that you never have a guarantee of actually making a profit and getting clients. So you could risk losing $10,000 just like that. Product-based businesses are not for beginners. And even if you didn't use paid advertising and you were to use organic marketing, organic content to attract radio customers to you, your profit margins would still be extremely extremely small, 5 to 20% at most, which is nothing. Because if we do the math, if you managed to generate $10,000, which is a lot, how much would you get to keep? You would only keep $500 up to $2,000. But remember, initially you made $10,000. And that's how plenty of dropshipping gurus fool you with their big numbers, but in reality, they're not making that much money. In business, what matters, it's what you keep, not what you make. Because you don't pay your rent, you don't pay your food, you don't pay nice expensive travels or things that you like with revenue. You pay it with profit after tax, with what's left in your pocket. So that's all that matters. And I have spoken with hundreds of people by now, successful business owners, but also plenty of people who are ambitious and they want to start their own online business so they can become financially free. And plenty of them, they tried dropshipping in the past, but they only lost thousands of dollars because they invested it in the wrong business opportunity. And I did too back in 2019-2020, because with one of my friends, at the time I was still a broke high school student, but we decided to invest the little money we had into doing dropshipping with paid advertising. But since it's not a beginner-friendly business model, we only lost thousands of dollars on paid advertising, and it was honestly a mess. Now, something I want to share with you is that volume negate luck. You want to do a lot. A lot of people, they come to me, they've only reached out to 20 people in the last 2 months, and then they seriously wonder why they didn't sign any clients. So whether it be making content or reaching out to people directly, you need to do as much as you can, because the more you do, the more you increase your chances of signing customers. If you're only reaching out to 20 people per month, those are baby numbers. You're not thinking like a proper businessman. To give you an example, in 2022, back when I had my Done For You lead generation service for entrepreneurs, I was sending out messages to thousands of people every single day, and I was using automations because obviously I couldn't do everything myself manually. So I was using Instagram automations, LinkedIn automations. We had dozens of accounts across all social media platforms. Now, congratulations for making it this far in the video. You know more than 99% of people about how to make money online and what business opportunity to pick. Because remember, most people are gonna fail miserably. They will never even make a single cent online because they pick the wrong opportunity. And for a while, I was working on the wrong opportunities, and it wasted months, if not years of my life. So I only have one regret, and it's not finding out the best business model sooner. So look, it's time for you to make a choice now. You can keep watching YouTube videos about how to make money, which business to start, but doing this keeps you inactive and it will not make you any money. But if you are part of that minority of committed and ambitious individuals and you want to build your business so you can become financially free, I invite you to check out the free resources in the description below, or to directly apply to book a call with me or my team, and we'll see if we can help you to start your business. With that said, if you found this video valuable, share it with a friend, and together, let's blow up this YouTube channel to empower more ambitious people to become financially free. And when we get to 100,000 subs, I will be giving away $10,000.